Hello, everybody. I'm Kristin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Shadow and Bone, Season 2, Episode 2. I assume this is pronounced Rusalye.
Sure.
We'll see. Okay, wow. We're burning through it.
Mm-hmm.
And this show is so plot dense. Okay, so let's do Alina and Mal first.
Okay.
They're on the ship. They, like, level with, they're calling him, like, Storm Pound or something.
Sure.
Something like that. Regardless, they level with him. They tell him what's going on. They're looking for the sea whip. That seems okay. Alina just tells literally everything to the twins and the other, like, Grisha. They're like, they don't call themselves Grisha outside of Ravka, but just tells them everything, like, about the dreams she's having and whatnot. I mean, it seems to work out. But then she also says she doesn't think she has to kill the sea whip. She wants to try to, like, do it without killing it. She thinks it can happen. It does not go to plan.
Nope.
They do end up killing the sea whip. But she gets the scales, which I was right about. It is scales. And but they lose just the one guy, I think.
There's, like, I think there was
one or two, yeah. So they're, like, in these caves and stuff. It's, like, such a bigger buildup to getting to the sea whip in the book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah, but there's just, like...
Boom, we need a cake!
Yeah. So I'm sort of wondering if they're, because like I said, I didn't finish the second book. I wonder if they're going to get the Firebird, like, ASAP.
I would think.
Yeah. Interesting. So that's basically the gist of their story, is they also still are sexually dancing around each other.
Yeah, I just need them to bone and get it over with. But it was interesting that when she did absorb the scales, she saw the last thing that the sea whip saw, and it was focusing on Mal. I think he is slightly Grisha. Like,
he
his
might
tracker.
be something, yeah.
Yeah, because, like, how he can hear the frequency.
Yeah, interesting.
And why he's such a good tracker. I think it might, maybe it's like Grisha Light.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or something, but he's something.
Interesting. That could make him more interesting to me. Yeah. And so then, yeah, she absorbs the scales, her power is crazy, and it also, another point to your favor is that it took Mal, like, physically holding her for it to stop. It was kind of overcoming her a little.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. She also she keeps having dreams about Kerrigan, and she's protesting a lot in real life, where she's like, she keeps calling him the Darkling, and she's just like, we don't have anything in common, and, like, we're not the same, and blah, blah, blah. And
he basically just goes, sure, Jan.
Yeah, he's like, the thing is that we're more the same than any two people who have ever existed. And I keep forgetting that she is effectively immortal. So...
Oh, yeah.
Everyone will die, and they will be, unless she kills him, they will be the only two like themselves forever. So... He makes a compelling case.
I mean, and he looks like Ben Barnes.
And he looks like Ben
so
Barnes.
I am not fully fighting you. It's just like, he's a bad guy.
No, of course he's a bad guy. He also, so we'll go to him next. He is not doing great. He's coughing up black goo.
Yeah, never a good sign.
His face wounds were very open, but he got Jenya to come in. I forgot she got that boss new kefta that's, like, maroon with, like, indigo embroidery. It's so amazing.
So pretty.
So he gets her to try to fix his face, and she can only do so much, but they don't look like open wounds anymore. They look like more like scars. And then it's like the pain of it maybe makes the smoke monsters come out.
I took it more as he can't not have it, because I think that the smoke monsters, like, have to... Sorry, I'm processing as it's coming out of my mouth. I know what I want to say, but it's like, they won't let him erase it. Like, it has to be too present. Like, the amount of science magic that he has taken to do this,
sure,
you can't eradicate it.
You can't, like, that's the price,
yes,
essentially. Okay. And so he also is trying to fix his hand, where he had, like, the base of the stag antler embedded, and she stabbed him through it. And then at the end, it's like he's trying to cauterize it almost.
Okay. I thought he was going to stick it in there, first of all. But then it was like
well,
he
I think
turned
he
it
tried
on.
to.
But I don't know that he was trying to cauterize it, but I think that because he could like maybe feel her a little bit still, and it was a way to like.
I think that was an accident. I think finding that out was an accident.
Oh.
Because it almost looked like it showed him like a constellation, or like it showed him her power.
Yeah.
In the like wound or whatever. It was very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then because that was when he was like, "Oh, you're still alive." I think he wasn't sure she was still alive. Yeah. We also met, what was his name? Vladim. And he was asking about the power and like if there was any way to fix it, because he's in pain as well. And he was like, the only way to fix it is with more of it. And I'm just like, maybe.
It seems like a very dangerous game to be playing.
So he decided to go like out into the woods, and he met a woman out there. She was cool. She was kind of cool. And she like helped him pull back the veil on like a hiding place where he had stashed a journal about, I think, when he made the fold originally. And then like uncovered his mom that he's keeping behind a waterfall, which is so weird and dramatic.
Yeah, very strange.
Was there something else about him? I think that was it for him.
Yeah, Jenya asked about David.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And then
David the betrayer.
He also said that he wanted to keep her close, and she didn't seem very enthused about that.
She was very undone when she left the room with him. I think she's such a fascinating character, and I also have a soft spot because she's played by Daisy Head, who's Anthony Stewart Head's daughter, and he's one of my favorite actors ever. So I think it's really fun watching her be in this show.
Yeah.
She's really good in it. She was in a show on like ABC Family or Freeform or whatever with Billy Zane for like, but it only lasted for like one season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Then I'm gonna go to Matthias.
Yeah.
Who we get a scene of him in the prison. They are apparently serving them lobsters and bread, but the lobsters are
rotten.
Yeah. So his like cellmate is, because at first I was like, gosh, that's like a hefty portion of food. That's sort of nice, like of this prison. But then I was like, oh, there's another dude in there with him. So his cellmate basically tells him like all about how to like survive and stuff. And they're both Fjerdan. So he's like, our God will like forgive you. And we did have a discussion out there where we were like, was he a virgin when he slept with Nina? And we couldn't remember. And I think he does give off that energy. And because then he was like, God will never forgive my sins. And I was just like, okay.
Well, but it could be that he had carnal relations with a witch.
Okay. Maybe it's the witch part.
I think it's more the witch part than having the carnal relations.
Okay. So, but he's really going through it. He's like he's not cut out for prison.
No.
I don't think it's gonna do well. And then, I think okay, you'll have to forgive me. The Six of Crows stuff is the most densely plotted right now, and I'm so tired, and I'm not good at, like, on the fly parsing heist twists. So,
okay.
This is likely gonna be a little bit of a shit show. Okay, they are trying to take down Pekka Rollins. Kaz has a history with him, which we are getting into. He was being called something else when his brother introduced them.
Yes.
Brother?
Yes.
Okay. And so he used to work for Pekka Collins. Collins, right? Yeah. Rollins. Pekka Rollins. He used to work for him, and at some point they got on opposite sides. And now that Kaz has blown up the Crow Club, it's like very acrimonious. They are all wanted, I guess, except for Nina and Wyland. So the three of them are wanted, and then Nina and Wyland are just like in there. Okay, so the idea is, because they can't be seen around anywhere, they can't go to the clubs, they can't go to the brothels, they're gonna break in and steal something from Pekka's accountant.
The books, I think. Yeah,
because he does have like a ledger at the end. They like set it all up, and they've got like 3 different like what's the word I'm looking for? Prongs of attack. Yeah. Nina's gonna heart rend all over the place. Kaz is gonna get inside. Inej is gonna be watching from the roof, and Jasper and Wyland are going to be following Pekka's driver, or the accountant's driver.
Somebody's driver.
A driver. Jasper has fucked that little boy.
He's not a little boy. He is a twink, but he is of age.
But apparently Wyland bought him stroopwafels after.
So nice.
Just sort of nice. I love that dynamic was like really interesting because it was like Wyland wasn't necessarily offended that he didn't remember him, but he was sort of like, we've met, dude. Like, how do you not remember that we met? I thought that was all very fun, and that it was that he didn't remember him until he was like on top of him on the ground, and that's why I was like,
yeah,
you did that. But that was like really fun. So also, Kaz did not encounter the accountant. It was Pekka that ended up being there because he was like one step ahead. He was like, I knew this was the only place you could come because you're blacklisted everywhere else. So they had a little back and forth. But it turns out Kaz was actually a step ahead the whole time.
Yeah. His brain.
Okay. Man. I think, what's his name? Freddie Carter. I think he's so attractive. I'm very attracted to him. He had sent a madman to go after Inej. I don't know what that means, but he was creepy.
Well, he was a taxidermist.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm sure he's probably like probably a serial killer type of thing. But he had like the really creepy pig bear mask thing on his face. And I don't understand why.
It's sort of, except that he was articulate as like, he seemed like a geek from a carnival. In a way that I was like, get your mitts off Inej. Like,
yeah.
Get your creepy geek hands off Inej. So that was like really cool. We get to a point where it looks like everyone's going down. But they all
understand
get back up.
Her knives in his chest did not slow him down at all.
That's where the geek part was getting to me.
I guess I don't know what that is.
The ones that like, you never saw Nightmare Alley? No, don't. It's like Guillermo del Toro's like most upsetting movie. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's had got a really grim ending where like a lot of times his stuff ends on like a hopeful note, but it's like they're the ones that like eat live chickens and stuff. It's just like super gross.
Ew.
And it's like usually it's like the way they explain it is like they would find like drifters and people who would like just basically do anything and like they couldn't like go into society and then they just like make them be the geek. Super creepy. That's why I was like, would you not feel pain? Like, is this a Michael Myers situation? Like, what are we doing? I don't understand too with the knives. I get that.
I don't like that.
And then he was like, he cut her on her arms to be like, just bleed a little and then you'll stop fighting. And I was like, ugh. I'm not a fan of any of this.
God, and we were so stressed that he was going to cut her hair.
Oh, I really was.
Because they kept saying that he's going to take a trophy or he's going to want a trophy. And I thought for sure that the hair was going to be the trophy.
I do feel like that might hurt her value back at the menagerie if she didn't have her hair.
Well, true. Because he did say nothing. I won't take anything that won't hurt your value.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, regardless, it was pretty good. Nina heart-rended all of Pekka's dudes, but one of them shot her in the arm, and then they were like, she ended up running away, but she made it back to where they were.
Yeah.
Kaz had more explosives. So he got what he needed. He got out. They all met at like a mausoleum in the cemetery. And Jasper got to just shoot a bunch of people. His like shooting choreography
is so neat.
Is so dope. I feel like Kit Young must have had a really good time training.
Probably.
Like I feel like it was fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they all made it back. And they're like taking next steps. Inej really tried to get Kaz to tell her what the deal is with Pekka and like why he wants to go after him so bad, but he wouldn't. He is like an actually really interesting character to me. The like mystery of him.
The mystery I like.
Yeah.
I could maybe after this episode, I need him to chill out a little bit about like his boner to like take Pekka down and like not telling everyone.
I agree.
Because I think that this probably would be the final stand for the rest of the gang.
Yeah.
To be like,
what's actually going on?
Yeah, like you need to tell us like something's not right. Like we all almost died today.
Yeah.
So I think we are owed a conversation and information. So.
I completely agree. And I don't necessarily think it'll be the next episode, but I do think at some point this season, because even in season 1, he very gradually softened, like towards Inej specifically.
Yeah.
Like he very gradually was like, especially with all the saint stuff where she was like, she's an actual saint. And he's like, I'm an atheist. And she was like, I'm looking at her right now.
And he's like, oh, okay, I can make magic too.
Yeah. So regardless, I was going to say something else too. Oh, Nina at the restaurant at the beginning was hysterical.
I love her.
She is so great. Her name is Danielle Gallion. I think she's fantastic, but she also was like, ooh, nice place. I wonder if they're still serving breakfast. And then they were all trying to figure out like what floor and like room the accountant was in the building across the street. And she just like gets up and walks away. And you're like, what the hell is she doing? And she comes back with a plate of food. And she's just like, second floor, third window from the end or whatever. And they're like, how do you know that? And she's just does that thing. I love it and everything where she's like, oh, I asked here. Like,
yeah,
I just asked the lady up there and she told me. So here you go. Fantastic. She also brings a lot more humor. Like it's nice not having all the humor be relying on Jasper.
Yeah.
So it's like nice spreading that out to someone else because Inej and Kaz are very like
serious.
Yeah. I like it. I'm very excited. Is that it? I think that's mostly.
I think that is everything.
Yeah, because I talked about the mom behind the waterfall, which hilarious hiding spot for your mom. Also, is it like, was there magic there also, or was he just assuming she didn't want to get her hair wet or something and wouldn't escape?
I'm sure that there was like some magical barrier.
Hilarious. And I said that, oh yeah, the journal from when he was like doing it the first time. So yeah, I do think that is everything. This show's fun.
It is very fun.
And hopefully tomorrow, after a full real night's worth of sleep, we'll be a little higher energy. We are both like this,
holding on
running
for dear life.
Fumes. Yeah, I am fighting for my life right now. So, okay, yeah, we will watch the next episode, and we'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye.